Really, we've seen quite a change over the last 10 years. We originally started with very simple, very basic services, focusing on unbanked or underbanked sectors in challenged socioeconomic geographies. We've really evolved now into a situation where everybody understands mobile money and the services we can offer in a much better manner. Everybody from the mobile network operators, the financial institutions, and more importantly, even the banking regulators. So the regulators, there was a relatively unregulated market because this was a new service being launched. Mobile network operators really didn't know how to foray into the financial services domain. It was new territory for them. But in many ways, the mobile network operators, our customers, wanted to try and keep everything as closed as possible within their network domain. Okay? What we've seen over the last 10 years now has really been an evolution of partnership. So I think all of the players in the ecosystem understand much better now that in order for mobile money to succeed, it's going to be about partnership in the ecosystem and about ubiquitous access. Okay? And that means partnering out to the legacy payment networks, including MasterCard, etc. Partnering with different, let's say, merchant ecosystems, partnering with financial institutions when need be, etc. So I think that the real evolution that we've had, other than from a device perspective and let's say from a service perspective, is a better understanding mutually, I think, across the entire ecosystem of who needs to do what and how we need to partner with each other in order really to provide growth and a valuable service to the subscriber in the end. So while we look at emerging markets as really being a question of providing, let's say, a new service to a market that hasn't been served by the financial institutions in the past for reasons of cost, etc. In developed markets, it's really more about convenience. You see the majority of the developed markets has a very highly banked population. So we look more about ease of access to different payment mechanisms. Obviously near-field communications is really evolving very quickly now. There are over 30 handsets available on the market now that are NFC enabled. So we've done a great deal of integration, let's say, into both NFC, ATMs, etc., in order to try and bring greater convenience via the mobile handset in the banking domain that is already quite well established. So really, it's a very different play, I think, from an emerging market perspective. I think something quite unique that Eastern Global is doing is that we're providing, let's say, a system that can serve everybody ranging from the very, let's say, undeveloped emerging markets all the way through to the very developed, let's say, and highly banked markets. Okay, so on a single platform, our objective is really to try and provide ubiquitous access through many means, whether it be as simple means as SMS, USSD, etc., all the way up to smartphone applications, iPhone application, Android application, NFC access, QR code reading, etc. So I think it's very important, let's say, to recognize that in order for this to be a successful service, especially when you're working with large, global groups of mobile network operators that have, let's say, operations in sub-Saharan Africa all the way through to Western Europe, it's important to work with a team, let's say, that's capable and aware of the different requirements from developed and emerging markets, and ensure that you have a system that can, let's say, that can address, let's say, all the way across the gamut of subscribers that you have in your systems. No, I think that in mobile financial services, we've started off some very basic services. We started off with salary disbursements, utility bill payments, person-to-person transfer at a domestic level of money, serving those emerging markets where, let's say, a member of the family is working in the city and needs to transfer money out to his family in the village, and using a mobile handset, using a mobile money platform, that's a very valuable service. Let's say, not only for those emerging markets, but also for the players in the market, ourselves as vendors, let's say our customer partners and mobile network operators, to understand, let's say, the market in a better fashion. Now as we evolve, we see that we've actually learned a great deal more in the mobile, let's say, network operator domain about financial services. And so as we've evolved and our understanding has grown, we're starting to see more and more opportunities for services that are traditionally in the financial services domain. So we're talking about microinsurance, we're talking about customer acquisition for financial institutions in a much more costly manner, because one of the great advantages that the mobile network operator has is he has many touch points existing through his existing merchant network where he's doing recharge. If you look at, we have a customer in Pakistan, for example, that has over 250,000 retailers throughout his network across the country. Now that is substantially greater than any existing, let's say, merchant network of international money remittance companies, etc., and certainly any financial players in the domain. for a bank or financial institution to go and set up 250,000, let's say, touch points across the country is impossible. Okay, so now we're utilizing, let's say, that existing merchant and that existing retail network and the hierarchy that exists and the commission structure that exists throughout that in order to access different financial services. So we can, in many ways, now utilize, let's say, what we've created and bring that over into the financial services domain and start adding additional services. In addition, we're also seeing a great deal of interest in government services. So as we evolve, let's say, from a device capability perspective, certainly with the evolution of NFC devices, we're starting to see integration out into government services where governments can make disbursements to their people, refunds for health programs. We're also looking at a multitude, let's say, of NFC applications residing on the handset that aren't even necessarily directly located or directly correlated to financial services. So we're starting to see, let's say, access into buildings, all these sorts of NFC, NFC applications, and let's say bringing those into the portal of the, let's say, mobile money domain of the mobile network operator. So we see a great deal of evolution now, let's say, in capabilities and in the markets, and hopefully, of course, for everybody, let's say, new revenue streams for us. As the market starts to grow, certainly, let's say, there's more and more interest from, let's say, legacy payment systems, from other players in the market that are traditionally working in the financial services domain to enter in. Of course, we as a vendor work very closely with mobile network operators, and our intention here is to really do what we can to partner with mobile network operators to try and keep as many of these financial transactions within their domain. Okay? So I think it's very important for a mobile network operator that's venturing into this area to work with partners that have been in this game for many years. We personally have been in there from the beginning, and it's very important, let's say, to try and work with a partner that's going to assist you, let's say, in helping you build your brand, your identity, and obviously the retention of your customers, let's say, within that mobile device, and let's say, try and enable ubiquitous access. So as many ways possible to bring money into the system, and as many ways possible for your customers, for your subscribers, let's say, to spend that money on the way out. So I think it's inherently important if you want to grow this ecosystem. You have to partner with the right people. You have to try and ensure that you're launching a service that can be accessible, regardless of the socioeconomic level, regardless of the technology level existing in your specific geography. You need to have as many access points in and as many access points out as possible, and really focus on building your brand and making sure you have the appropriate partner network in order to launch as many valuable services as possible to your subscribers.
Our approach is really to partner with the operators and help them attack the mobile money business from any different angle. So by building an end-to-end solution for both emerging, developed markets, closed loop, open loop solution, we want to boost the usage of these services. One way of boosting this usage is by encouraging interoperability between operators, and we have solutions between the mobile wallet and the money transfer across mobile wallets to ease this interoperability between different service providers. Another way to encourage the usage of these new services is by allowing cross-product promotions between telco services and mobile money services. Like, for example, you get free airtime if you use your mobile wallet more than for X euros or X dollars. So these are different ways for us to help the operator having the most value of these services. Okay, so our HomeSend solution that we built in partnership with BICS allows mobile money users to send money across countries using their mobile wallets. So I can send money either from my mobile wallet, from my bank account, or I can go to a money transfer organization and send that money to another country directly to the receiver's mobile wallet. So this increases dramatically the reach of where that money can go. If you imagine the number of people who hold mobile phones, this is really the target for us for international remittance.
So through our strategic partnership with HomeSend, we've built a real-time cross-border transaction hub for remittances, airtime, and other top-up solutions. So HomeSend was endorsed by the GSM Association as the only mobile-centric hub. We've been covering a lot of regions all across the globe, mainly in Africa, the Middle East, Europe and in Asia. Today we're also penetrating in the Latin American region and also in the United States. We've been taking care of major groups across the globe, and we've been building for them not only extra group transactions but also within the group in order to fuel the needs of their subscribers. Today we address about 350 million subscribers as the addressable market across the globe.